is no better way to start the week than to be picture in picture with Matt Langel for all the success he has brought to upstate New York, to Colgate University, and to the Raiders. It is always an honor to talk with him. So I know that they go to coaches around the country and ask them how they're feeling about where they're seated. I get Matt Langel, and I'm proud of that. Matt, how are we doing today?
Thanks for having me, Dan. Doing great.
Absolutely. You're always so mellow, Matt. Does your team get to see you did you have a moment yesterday where you got a little bit amped up, or are you always kind of even keel?
Yeah, I try to be as even keel as I can. I think that's my personality. I think it's important when you're in a position of leadership to be yourself because you can't really fool young people, especially. And so that's kind of me. Try and be not too high, not too low. Focus on what's ahead. We certainly have had some celebratory moments. I can tell you that over the course of this special season.
Yeah, in this season, a record of 26-8, and teams like Colgate, leagues like the Patriot League don't get the respect that they deserve. What do you want people to know about the Patriot League this season? Because everybody talks about quad ones and quad two, and this team was ranked, and it seemed like the committee this year for the NCAA selection, committee wise, it seemed like they believed in something called a quality road loss. So when you see all these different things that go into it, what should people know about the Patriot League?
Yeah, I think for me, and I don't study all the metrics or the committee. I leave that up to the pundits like you to talk about those things. For me, the Patriot League is a little bit of a throwback. It's generally as college athletics has become a big business. The Patriot League's founded on a combination of athletics and academics, and so our institutions are really driven to develop student athletes for them to be true students going to class the exact same way as every other student on their campus, which is what I'm really proud of that our guys have done to be able to play basketball at the level they have and not compromise their academic experience in any way, shape, or form is a testament to who they are as individuals and the families they come from and what Colgate University and the Patriot League is all about.
Here with Matt Langel, the head coach of the Colgate Raiders, live to start the week on the heels of finding out where they're going to be inside of the NCAA tournament. Matt, we see that you're on the 15 line and playing second seeded Texas. We'll talk about that game in a second. But to a point that I've had here, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this. When you win your conference, if you're one of the 32 teams that wins your conference, you have an automatic bid, and then there's 36 at large. Do you believe that if you win your conference, you should be guaranteed a spot? Because there are those play-in games, and some teams that win their conference get put in a play-in game situation. Do you believe that if you make it to the tournament on an automatic bid, that you should be in the round of 64, or are you okay with the fact that some teams have to play in from there?
Yeah, I'm okay with the current format. I think I'm dating myself a little bit here, Dan, but back when I was a player, there were only 64 teams. And so, I try and look at it as the perspective of, I'd rather be in the tournament and playing and have a chance. There's an argument that when, you're one of those 11 seeds or 16 seeds in the play in Dayton's an incredible atmosphere, great fan base.
Yeah.
People come out to those games. So it's an awesome experience, and then you're not playing a team that's, that much different from yourself in those games. And it's a chance to win in the NCAA tournament, which, I had a chance to do that one time as an assistant coach. I've been lucky enough to be a number of times as a player and as a coach, but to have a chance to win a game in the NCAA tournament, whether it's play in or 64 or whatever it may be, is a pretty awesome experience. So I think the way it's set up right now is pretty neat. And history will tell you some of those play-in games, some of those teams have gone awfully far in the NCAA tournament, right?
Yeah, no, it's been incredible, and I've been down to Dayton for the first four, and it's definitely been an experience. It was down there when Syracuse and St. Bonaventure from the state of New York were both there, so definitely an interesting, and it's a great atmosphere, like you said, and fans come out and they pack the place, and it's an incredible place to be. It's just for some teams, I think if you win your conference tournament, you shouldn't have to play in, is kind of how I look at it. So you draw the second seeded Texas Longhorns. and you have the opportunity in that 2:15 matchup. We know that that's not an impossible matchup, and no game is an impossible game, especially for Colgate in your tenure there. I know that you're very humble about it, but you guys have had wonderful success, and even in games in the NCAA tournament that ended in a loss, you have pushed teams all the way to the brink. Your inside-outside game has been incredible. I think it's gotten better, arguably. So I'd love to get your thoughts on drawing the Texas Longhorns out of the Big 12 and what your thoughts are on that 2:15.
Yeah, I mean, I think generally 215, it's a hard matchup. There are those 15s that find a way to win those games. That's certainly what we're trying to do. I think some of the experiences that we've had, we've got a number of guys on this team that do have the experience of playing a close game against Tennessee, a close game against Arkansas, a double-figure lead, and last year against Wisconsin. So that being said, Texas is different than all of those teams. Obviously, they're playing great, having just beat Kansas a couple times here late in the season and won the Big 12 tournament, arguably the toughest conference in the country. They have their own experienced guys, some veteran guys who have been around the block, played a lot of college basketball, even if it's not all been at Texas. Some guys with different experiences at other institutions have all found their way to Austin to be a part of this Longhorns group. They really get after it. They don't have just one player, although they have some really good players that are leading them in scoring. But they have great depth. They have great balance on their team. They can hurt you in a lot of ways, and they really get after you on the defensive end.
Yeah, so when you get a matchup like that, I mean, like you said, I know as a coach, you got to play the game that's in front of you. You got to coach the game that's in front of you. What do you think about that bracket? I mean, do you take a look? I know you look at the game that's coming up next, but do you kind of take a look at the Midwest bracket itself with Houston at the top? Do you kind of study any of that or take an appreciation for where you are, or is it just strictly Texas?
I think you take an appreciation for where you are being in the NCAA tournament, playing a game, and Des Moines, the crowd, the fan base there. I anticipate they love their basketball. That part of the country, I anticipate there being a great crowd and it being a great environment. I couldn't tell you who the other teams are in Des Moines. What the other games are, and obviously, you got to prepare. Your staff has to prepare a little bit. For what could be a game on Saturday if you're fortunate enough to play your best and find a way to win. But yeah, I leave that up to my 13-year-old son to study the bracket and see what region we're in and where those things are. It's what makes it fun is the tournament and the whole magnitude of it and the spectacle and the pageantry. But for me as a coach, really just trying to learn as much as we can about Texas and trying to help our guys prepare and be at the best place to play a great game on Thursday night.
That coming here from Colgate Raiders men's basketball head coach Matt Langel on the heels of finding out where Colgate's going to be inside of the NCAA tournament as a 15 seed going up against 2-seeded Texas Longhorns in the Midwest region. Matt, for you, why? I mean, obviously the easy answer is you won enough games and you won your tournament. But why is Colgate where they are right now? Why did this year's team make it to a place where they're still dancing in the postseason?
Yeah, I think I got to start with our captain, with Tucker Richardson, our fifth-year player, who was Defensive Player of the Year, Scholar Athlete of the Year. 5 short years ago, he was Rookie of the Year. He's accomplished, he's won 4 championships. This will be his 4th NCAA tournament. I mean, he's really a do-everything player. Finished his last game at Cotterell Court, with a triple-double in the championship game. I just think speaks to his versatility. But as good of a basketball player he is, I think, why I start with him is it's never about him. He's really a team first guy. And whether it's setting up his teammate for a jump shot or celebrating his teammate. And I think that's carried on throughout our team. I think this is a close knit group that play for one another and with one another. And when we're playing our best, it's evident just watching us play how close they are and how well they get along.
And when you look at this team as a whole, I believe that you step into the NCAA tournament this year as the team that has the best percentage from 3-point, 40.7%, I believe, is the best in the nation of Division I men's basketball teams, and there's over 350 of them. We know that Colgate can hit the three, but to be the best in the nation as you step into the NCAA tournament, it's got to be pretty special.
Yeah, I think it's a result of the quality of our players. We have a bunch of guys who can shoot, so teams can't lock in on just one guy to try and take out the team's 3-point shooting. And then it also speaks to their unselfishness. I think that they found a way to move the ball, and the open guy gets a shot. And so when he's open, he's found a way to shoot it at a high clip, whoever that guy is. And so, really proud of how they play the game, how they share the basketball, and how committed they are to taking quality shots. I think that, if you shoot bad shots, you don't typically shoot a good percentage. So I think part of that speaks to their decision making and their awareness of what are quality 3-point shots.
What people don't know, if they haven't watched live the Colgate Raiders, is the fact that you are more than that, though, and that your inside play and your ability to work the ball around and really become an all-around offense with a lot of strengths. It's something that I've gotten to see a few times live this season in front of my face. I know you guys went down to Binghamton and got to watch that game, and obviously at the Dome. So when you're seeing this Colgate team, and a lot of people are keying in on that 3-point shooting, you have the big men. You've tried to stack up better, like you said, that close game against Wisconsin, and this team has elevated its play inside. So I'd love to get your thoughts as a head coach on how this offense has evolved over the last few years.
Yeah, I think again, it starts with the players and their versatility. I think that they've been really good decision makers. So instead of just being a 3-point shooting team, they really read the defense well and try and take what that opposition is giving us. And sometimes it's one-on-one play on the interior. Keegan Records is first team all league for a reason. He's become a force in our conference, finishing, shoots a really high percentage around the basket, as does Jeff Woodward, who spells him for about half the game. And then again, when the other team's not helping off of 3-point shooters, it creates driving lanes. Braden Smith, as a freshman, has really been good attacking the basket, finding passes, finding drop-offs for layups. And, he and Tucker have gotten to the basket extremely well to finish plays at the rim. So I think that balance certainly speaks to the efficiency of our offense and why we've had a really productive season on that end of the ball.
Yeah, as a team, you're shooting over 50% from the field as a whole and scoring almost 80 points per game. What is it about, like you said, I know you break it down the individuals to make up this team, but what is it about the consistency? Because I've gotten to watch Colgate over the years under your tutelage, Matt, and there's something to be said about the consistency of making shots, the consistency of being able to push teams, the consistency of making it to the NCAA tournament. It's one thing to have success every once in a while, which I think, anybody could fall upon that. But to have consistent success, to build a culture, is something different. Why is Colgate a culture of winning right now?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and I'm glad you bring it up. I think it's been a lot of work by a lot of people over a long period of time. And so that's something that we talk about all the time is, this group takes a lot of pride in that they're not just playing for themselves. They play for those who have come before them, and certainly for the opportunity for those who are going to come after them. And so, when you do that, you can, while they'll be doing everything they can on Thursday to play their best game, that's only focused on one day. And so they're really focused on the big picture, and that's doing the work every day. And so this group, they're always in the gym, they're always studying film, they're always thinking about, what they need to do individually to help prepare themselves to be the best version of themselves for their teammates. And so that culture has now been in place for a while, and I'm really proud that new guys that come here, they're coming here in part for that, because they recognize that in the recruiting process. And then when they get here, they learn it from the veteran guys. I mean, Tucker Richardson, although he's been a huge part of all these runs, I think if you would ask him, he learned a lot when he got here early in his career, from some guys who came before him, and those guys learned from guys that came before them. So yeah, feel really good that this culture has been in place for some time, and we work really hard to make sure we protect that and keep that. And and value that as much as anything else in our program.
Matt, you talked about the fact that this school values the student and student athlete, and that the Patriot League, that's something that is a part of the league itself. To be on the recruiting trail, though, and know that you have this student and student athlete, you're going to get a great education at Colgate, but at the same time, you're in a position where on the recruiting trail, when you speak to a prospective student athlete, they know that this is an NCAA tournament team. They know in 4 of the last 5 seasons, winning the Patriot League, you're going to advance and punch your ticket to the tournament. So when you're on the recruiting trail now, how have those conversations evolved into what they are today? And do you feel like it's become an easier sell for Colgate that with this continued success, that on top of the educational side of it, people want to come here because they know that there's a road to the NCAA tournament?
I don't know how prospects and their families and young people view it. I think that you said it is an easier sell. I think it's a different message that we're trying to deliver. For a long time, Colgate has a little bit of history and tradition. The last time before these last few years, it was Donald Foyle making the NCAA tournament, and he was a lottery pick. And so for a long time, our message was we're looking for people to take us back to, we haven't been in some time. We need somebody to, step out and be confident that they can be the individual or be a part of the group that leads us back to that level of competition. Now that we've been there, we're looking for individuals who want to take pride in continuing that legacy, to being a part of that culture. And maybe taking it another step. I know, this group, they've openly talked about at the beginning of the year, they wanted to win a regular season championship, win a conference tournament championship, and do whatever they could to win in the NCAA tournament. And so, while some teams are setting out to be national champions, maybe that's been a big part of their goal, is this third step of, now that they're back here, finding a way to win on this stage. And so, it's just a different message in recruiting, I think, than the one you were delivering before. And you're trying to highlight where the program is and where the vision that it can get to.
Matt, before I let you go, we've seen in college basketball these last few years especially that anybody on any given day, not just in the NCAA tournament, but in conference play and in non-conference play as well, we've seen the ability of teams to find ways to win. Why is it becoming more balanced that there are there's a bunch of teams that didn't make the tournament this year that arguably could have made the tournament based on the wins that they had, the teams that they beat. We look at Rutgers, we look at Clemson, we look at Vanderbilt. So it's not out of the realm of possibility in a 2-15 matchup. It's not out of the realm of possibility in a 5-12, which typically is a danger zone for the 5 seed more than the 12 seed. But in the regular season, even, we're seeing teams do it. Is this a testament to a place like Colgate where you have players, you bring them in, you develop them, and they're not leaving? Is that what's changing college basketball, that some teams are retaining their players for long periods of time? How do you view it?
Yeah, I do think there's great parity in college basketball. I think there's a lot of different things that contribute to it. I think, coaching has continued to develop as the game has changed. The social media aspect and the digital networks, provide platforms for young people to be exposed to, a variety of different programs and, pursue different paths. And I think the landscape of college basketball in general, Texas is an example of one of those teams. They've got a bunch of guys that started at different places and have ended up at Texas. So there's a lot of different circumstances that I think have that go into creating the parity of college basketball. And let's be honest, like, more people are watching it. It's not just on CBS anymore. You can get it, watch games on your phone or on your tablet or on the move, and I think that's affecting the variety that you see across the game.
Matt, what do you want to say to Hamilton, New York? A small area when we look at population, but a big area when it comes to love for their team, and beyond that to the alumni. What should we know about the community of Hamilton and the people that support the Raiders, because there is a special beauty to that, and I'd love for you to share that fan base.
Yeah, I think just what you said, it's really a cool thing. You know, we're a village of 3,000 people and we've got a campus of about 3,000 people. And so, you know, our guys, just Selection Sunday, for an example, we're in a packed restaurant in Hamilton, and a number of people from the village, from the mayor to some Colgate affiliated folks to, you know, folks who just live and work and go to school in the area. And they're not just fans who are cheering for the team. They know the team. They get to know the personalities and the families of our student athletes. And so for me, it's really cool as the coach to, you know, have our alumni network across the country, to have such a small institution but a powerful institution. Be excited about their basketball program and what our young student athletes have been able to accomplish, and what they represent, and to be able to put the institution and the community on this stage is a pretty neat thing.
What's fun about this to you this time of year, to be dancing? I know you said you're even keel. You kind of don't show that emotion as too high or too low, but what is fun about this? I mean, Colgate, listen, I said they're this year, and it's been great to see so many teams. You know, Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse and Syracuse, New York, they're heading to the national tournament for men's basketball. Oswego State just went to the Elite Eight and beat the reigning national championship team. There's a bunch of great things going on with high schools in the area and teams vying for state championships. And here's Colgate heading back to another NCAA tournament for Division I. There's a lot to be said about the excitement of March. And I know that you're mellow, but give me a little insight into Matt Langel and what goes through your mind and your heart, because this is special, Coach. You're one of 68 coaches of 350 plus that gets to continue to coach here in March.
Yeah, for me, Dan, there's two things. One, you know, when you set out at the beginning of the year and you have your team in the summer and you're going through fall workouts and getting ready for November, and you're working on their goal setting individually and collectively, to get to this point now and see how they feel about achieving those goals is extremely, extremely rewarding for me. Like, I try to stand in the back so that I can see everybody's reaction when Colgate's name is called. You know, when we win and our students, you know, rush the court and are celebrating with our guys, you know, I try and stand off to the side, because for me, that's the great reward, is watching the joy and raw emotion of everybody else. As a coach, selfishly, I love our team. I absolutely love every single second I get to spend with them. So to get to coach practice 98 and 99 and 100 and prepare for another game and go through that routine and be in the battle with this group, that's for me what makes it really special. Is, you know, I want every last second that I can get with this group, because they've taken us on such a special journey.
Yeah, we've gotten spoiled with you, Coach. You know, I'm getting used to seeing the Colgate in the tournament. I'm getting used to having that consistency in the Patriot League, and I'm getting used to our conversations. So I am so very proud of you. You deserve the spotlight. You guys deserve the best, not just you, but Hamilton, New York as a whole, and the university as a whole. So thank you for letting me be a part of this. And like I said there wasn't a better coach to have on Monday morning after Selection Sunday to talk about where you're going to be, where you are, and the preparation for it. Texas is coming up, and the opportunity to make new history at Colgate is coming up as well. Coach, I hope to continue to talk with you through the process of this, but I thank you so much for letting me do this on a Monday morning. It's very important to me, being from upstate New York, and it's close to my heart because you're a fantastic coach and you deserve everything that's coming your way, you and your staff and all the student athletes, as well as the staff in the background.
Thanks so much, Dan. Thanks for having me.
All right, I'll talk with you soon.
Take care.
Take care.